And Tai is here right now. Tai Abrams, she's a CEO of AdmissionSquad. Thank you for being here. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I mean, such great work you're doing with the kids. Just tell us about how important this is for them and how it just really changes the trajectory of their lives.
Right. So when we think about high school admissions, like quite honestly, the high school that you go to really can determine where you end up for college, what career paths you choose, right? What your actual network is going to be. So we wanted to make sure that at the middle school level, we were giving students access to the information that they needed to gain access to the best high school education, and most importantly, that they were on track for success.
You know, testing, especially here in New York City schools for these, elite high schools, it's really controversial. What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. So I believe that when we think about testing to get into a specialized high school, it's really an excellent way of measuring how the city is doing at the K-8 education level. So for quite honestly, a lot of students by the end of 8th grade, when we look at the underserved communities, they're getting 1s and 2s on their state exams. So I don't know that we should look at the SHSAT as the sole reason why students are not gaining admission. I think more so, we should think about what are we not doing to get these students to be able to compete academically.
So how early should students be getting prepared for all of this?
If you had it my way, I would say 3rd grade, right. No later than 3rd grade.
Right.
Some would say birth, right? But from a company standpoint, we believe that test prep should start right when Common Core testing starts, which is in 3rd grade. And that way students are comfortable with this concept of testing and they know how to compete in the race of academics.
Talk about you getting into this, like as when you were a child, and who really pushed you to know the importance of education and really know importance of that moment of getting into a great high school?
Sure. So, I mean, it started off with my mom. My mom was definitely a huge advocate of education as the ticket to success, so to speak. But for sure, we wanted to be successful, but she didn't really know how to navigate the high school admissions process. She didn't know about these specialized high schools. It was actually a parent that I went to school with, a colleague of mine. Her parent knew about the specialized high schools, and he trained many of us to get ready for this exam. And that's what made the difference for my journey.
Yeah, and I know I'm first generation as well, and just the importance of education and how that's instilled in you from a very, very young age. And talk about, you really have really interesting ideas about gifted and talented programs. And how do you think the city should really be implementing this in our school system?
Sure. So when we think about gifted and talented programs, I think it's actually a form of special education for that student that's already advanced. So when we think about every school district across New York City, we know that some school districts are not getting access to that gifted and talented education. So about 20 years ago, we did have a pipeline of Black and brown students placing into specialized high schools, but the reality is that those programs were taken away, and that's where we lost this opportunity for these children. So I strongly believe that if a student has the academic potential to receive accelerated education, they should have access to gifted and talented, and that's going to be the best way to restore the pipeline.
And I know you have a book here. Tell us about your book.
Sure. So I actually wrote the book called Who Am I? An A to Z Career Guide for Teens. And the goal is to help students get on track for career success much earlier. We can't push education without students understanding why they need to focus on it. If you want to be a coder or a finance person or someone who's going to be a president someday, you need to understand how education links to that career path.
And then next month, I want to make sure we get this in. You are offering free workshops for parents?
Yes, so we have 3 amazing workshops coming up. It's actually going to be in Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan, and we want as many parents to come out as possible to learn how to get into a specialized high school. But the other piece is we are looking for additional corporate sponsors to be able to support 125 students for our SHSAT summer and fall boot camp. So we want as many corporate sponsors to support us as possible, and we want as many hungry 6th and 7th graders to apply for our program so we can help you get on track.
Tai Abrams, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You know, not only do you have this program, your evidence of what this program can really do.
Absolutely.
So for more information about AdmissionSquad, go to our website, and that is cbsnewyork.com.